Hey everybody, this is Bridget Lynn Dologoff, Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project. And yes, I have been pulling weeds for 2 months now on 1.2 acre. If you go back and look at my videos, this is where my pumpkins are. And yeah, it's just this year's out of control because of all the water. It's shocking. I'm about 5 days away from getting 3/4 of the yard completely and totally weeded. And in some cases, I've had to weed 3 times. But this video is going to be a public service kind of announcement as a concerned citizen. So, the movie Sound of Freedom, and I have to kind of be careful about certain language I use so that my video doesn't get pulled. But it's in the, human T word. And I just wanted to talk about a situation, having been in common law and kind of, did lobbying, read law, deciphered bills. I've kind of been at this for a long time. And because of, my situation, being blacklisted because 30-year medical whistleblower, 14 years in underground media, and, just trying to stand up for myself, in a position of do no harm. So a situation that has come about. So there is a kid in the small town, and he heard that I was hiring somebody to help me to pull the weeds. And he started working, started to get to know things about him. He's, on the skids. He was thrown into the foster care system. He got through high school, and then he went to school for welding, and then had some trouble with kind of the feed, the MIG feed welding. Anyway, we're hoping that somebody is going to help him, because it would have been he could have wrote his own ticket as a welder. And we need these kinds of kids to rebuild America. If we want to make America great again, these are the kind of kids we need. So he's helping me with my weeds, and I have just a huge acreage of overgrown weeds, and they're tough. They're tough. I hired 3 other people who quit. So I'm helping him, paying him to work, watching, how he deals with things, right? Trying to help him navigate the system. Meanwhile, trying to get him more work, because once the weeds are done, because I'm on the skids and I don't have money, so that's kind of like where things are at. He doesn't really have a place to live, and so I gave him a tent, and so he's living in a tent, and, trying to make it happen against all odds. Now, he's sort of kind of had relationships with his family, the ones, that he was taken away from and put in foster care. And they're awful. They're all kind of addicts, and they're really screwed up, and he knows that, and they're abusive to him. And when the mother was forced to give him up, she had to give up all of his documentation. So security card, birth certificate, all kinds of different things to the state. So this is all part of that human T word that everybody's hearing a lot about. And this is what's going on with him. Because his mother surrendered all that information, the state basically became his legal guardian to dictate who he was going to go with, where he was going to go. He became a big cash cow in their system that they all get paid, for. So now he's 20. Since he was 17, getting out of high school, he has tried, because he has to have a caseworker and he has to work through social services to get his documents back, or to even get a copy of his birth. He can't have a copy. He has to have anyway, let's just get to the point. It's complicated. So he knows what his Social Security is. He knows what his name is, what his birth date is, but they are continuing to hold his documents for 3 years. And so I'm kind of involved now with helping him. So we're using my phone. We're communicating with his caseworker. His caseworker did return our call, but said that she had availability to see people. So we chose Tuesday at any time in town, and that he could have a ride. And after that, she did not get back to us. And so here we go as part of the ignore. So if she does not call Monday to get him in on Tuesday, I'm going to be a concerned citizen, and I'm going to go in and have a chat with her and, see her side of things. And if they don't really gel up, then we're going to have like a really big problem. And I'm going to put a legal fire under her ass to get things accomplished, because he may not know about the system and he may not know how to deal with the system, but I sure as hell know what to do. So this is all what we need to do. There was that great Roseanne Barr interview on Piers Morgan. I highly suggest you look it up. She was not going to take any crap from these people anymore, because they're all just liars dishing out propaganda. So we all need to kind of get a backbone, and we need to start going out and finding out the truth and standing up for the kids. And he may be 20 years old, but no one is standing up for him. And the scariest part, the government, the state, is still making money off his documents. So this is what the last time that he actually talked to his caseworker, and it scared the shit out of him. She said, well, in order to kind of get you off the streets or whatever else, not getting him an ID right away so he can go get a job, I can put you an inpatient into a mental health facility. Oh, so he can be drugged and doped up, and because they're the legal guardian, they'll make the decision to keep him in there. They'll make money off of it because it keeps them, in their grueling, grinding system as long as possible. So they keep cha-ching, cha-ching off of his legal documents. And then he'll be really messed up. And then he will have had a frontal lobotomy. And he will no longer be, and who knows what they would do to him, murder him, traffic his body parts, because, nobody really seems to be caring for him. And he is crying. He's like at the point of desperation, because he's young and he doesn't understand why people don't do what they say they're going to do, and why there is this manipulation, everywhere he turns. So this is very important stuff. And we need to drop everything we're doing. And I got involved with homeless teenagers in Reno. And every year, because the state was lying about the totals of children who are homeless, we did a thing in Reno where we counted as many of them that wanted to come in. We put up a warm tent. We offered them 3 meals over a 24 period. We had backpacks full of stuff. They could get a sleeping bag. They could get a tent, because we couldn't help them. And they can't get help because once they're in that system, their IDs are taken by the state and the government. So they can't just go get a job because they're being trafficked through the state system, and the state is making the money off of them. So we need to help them, which means we need to start asking more questions. And all the kids are our responsibility as adults. And if you don't view it that way, then you know what? Go jump off a cliff. All right. That's where I'm at. That's what I got. I'm on the skids, but I'm going to help somebody else. Because my future is bleak if I don't help him. His future is non-existent right now. Because he's just a pawn in the human T situation. All right, everybody. It's Bridget. I'm signing off. It's time to fight. Thanks so much for listening.